everyone, this is Keith Scott from out in Sydney, Australia. I'm one of the voices of Bullwinkle J. Moose. It's time to watch Relentless and Unstoppable. And so give it up for your main hosts, Douglas Kenny and Andy McPhee.
Yeah, sometimes you have to take risks. And one thing I got out of this year was, sometimes when you're in a spot where you have to make a decision in 1 second, you don't always make the right choice, but if you do, you're very lucky, because sometimes in life there's not a right or wrong answer. It's just possibilities and the consequences that can come from one single decision.
Yeah. And sometimes you do have to make decisions pretty quickly. And that's just part of life. There's ups and downs, and it's you just have to accept life is going to be up and down.
Yep, it's just a journey. It's a roller coaster, when we live in an imperfect world. But people like you and me
Yeah.
can contribute good to society.
Right. Can I also just add a little snippet?
I gotta hear this.
Oh, okay. It's not funny. It's just kind of, interesting maybe.
Okay.
When I've faced challenges in the past, be it physical or emotional, spiritual, I chose at one point that I would go and volunteer at the hospital where I had surgery the first time. Because they had volunteers come in and tend the flowers of the patients. You know how patients are given flowers from relatives, and the nurses are so busy they don't have time to come and water the flowers or throw out the dead ones. And there is a position at the hospital where I was to be a flower lady, and I thought, wow, that's just such a happy thing. Like, you don't get paid for it, but what a great job to do, to like come and just talk to people or freshen up their flowers or just spritz their flowers with a bit of water spray. And when I was lying in bed, being grateful when I found out that cancer hadn't spread. I remember it was a Saturday afternoon and the doctor had phoned to say it's all clear. And I literally lay in the bed and I put my arms up to the sky. Like, this is a bit dramatic now. But I put my arms up to the sky and I just out loud thanked everyone I knew, like starting with my parents, my family. I hadn't met Andy at that stage, so I couldn't thank him. But I thanked everybody. And then I was lying in bed having done that, and I thought, I'm so fortunate. I know I've said that many times during this interview, but I feel very lucky. And I felt so grateful then. And it was still hard. It was still hard to be confronting that diagnosis and that surgery and the recovery. It was still hard. And I thought, how can I make this happier for people who aren't as lucky as me or who don't have the good fortune? How can I cheer them up? Because I needed cheering up. I mean, I was still sad. I mean, I had good news, but it was still really hard. So I thought, well, I'm going to come back and be a flower lady. So I did. And I've been doing it for 8 years. And that, through all the ups and downs of what life has thrown at me, has been an incredible healthy habit. To put your own little world aside, you go in and you go and you talk to people. Sometimes they don't have flowers and you just talk to them. Sometimes they don't like flowers and they just want to talk. It's also been an incredible window into personalities and people, and not judging people, because quite often I've walked into a patient's room and they may have a particular look on their face and you think, oh, they're not very friendly, or, oh, they don't want to talk to me. And I'll go in, they might not have flowers, and I'll just smile and say, hi, I'm Justine from the Volunteer Flower Ladies. I see you don't have any flowers today. How are you feeling today? And half an hour later, they've told me their life story. They've told me they're there alone from the country. They don't have family visiting. And, I've perhaps misjudged them because I've looked at them and thought, oh, not so friendly. But then after you get into talking to someone, as you will appreciate, you get to know them and realize you can't judge people. You shouldn't judge people. But I'm just really grateful for that opportunity to work at that hospital, to get to see people from birth to death, literally, and cheer them up, because it cheers you up.
Gee, that's all we have for Relentless and Unstoppable. So tune into the next episode to hear more amazing stories from amazing guests. This is Keith Scott from Sydney, Australia, saying so long, and I'm smarter than the average bear. Gee.